Friends, Romans, countrymen, we are back for day 13 of using AI to launch a fully customized automated trading bot. And as you can see, I have a new mic here. I prefer this tremendously. I will say, however, I will have to be setting it down in order to actually, you know, type, right? Because we will need to type today. But here's the agenda. It's the first time ever being with us, basically what we do is we start off by looking at the past performance or the performance of the past bots that we built. Again, today's 13. So we have 12, I think maybe 13 other bots that we'll be checking out. And it's been quite some time since I actually uploaded another live stream in this series. So we're going to have a lot of data to actually check out. That's going to be really fun. And then after we check the performance of each of those bots, right, of the last 13 days or so, what we're going to do is actually launch a brand new bot. Okay. So, and again, we're going to be using AI to actually give us the strategy recommendation and actually, help us build it step by step. And then from there, we'll, kind of wait and see what the results bring for that bot. That being said, let's go ahead and I'll share my screen now. And I'll go ahead and log into, Arcade AI, which is what we're going to be using to actually monitor the results and basically do everything from A to Z in terms of, launching bots, monitoring them, back testing them, everything. We're going to be doing it right here inside of this one platform. Okay. So again, eventually I'm going to need to type, but for right now, I'm going to go ahead and just keep this mic right to my mouth and keep on talking your ear off if you don't mind that. Okay. So again, we, in the past, 13 days or so, you could see all these bots that we've launched. Day 0 is where we started. Okay, this is actually before it predates the series that we have going on, but it is still important nevertheless, right? In fact, it might be the most important day because it's the first day that we actually get to see results, and it's something to kind of anchor us down, to kind of give us a starting point. But before we dive into the results, every single one of these bots, except for the orb strategy and the inside bar breakout strategy, has been provided to us by AI. The other ones were provided by people who are watching just like you. And they saw what this platform could do and they were like, I wonder if this platform could handle this strategy or this strategy or this strategy. And so they just commented below, right? Which again, I'll invite you to comment below if you have a strategy that you want tested, right? If you want to put the AI to the test, be my guest. If you have been considering hiring an engineer, or you have, or maybe you have a guru out there that whose strategy the guru claims the strategy will make you a millionaire. We can actually put it to the test here and actually see what the results will be historically, and then also we could put it to the test real time, all on this one platform. Okay, so that being said, let's go ahead and jump right into the results. Okay, so this is day 0, and I put this blood emoji here because historically speaking, it's been absolutely tragic. Okay, it's the 5-minute SMA crossover strategy. Let's go ahead and see what the performance has been. If it's taken any of the traits, yep. So this, again, it's tragic, right? This $8,665 loss is tragic, but at the same time, it's only taken one trade, right? So I have no real, updates to give you here, because this is kind of what it's been for a while now. So it hasn't really been super, active in terms of the trading strategy, right? It's not taking a lot of trades. It's still, one trade, 8,600, which is not, again, it is truly tragic, right? But again, I kind of want to see more activity and to report to you guys. That being said, let's go ahead and move on to day 1, which is our by far and away the most profitable strategy we had, historically speaking. Now, again, it's been a few days, maybe even over a week. Again, Thanksgiving has passed. So if you are not on my email, text, or Discord subscriber, happy Thanksgiving to you. But I wish all my subscribers happy Thanksgiving. So if you want to subscribe, again, there's a link down below as well. But that being said, let's go ahead and dive into the day 1 results. Okay, we've had a lot of time for this to bake. Historically speaking, it's been by far and away the most profitable strategy we've used. And again, it's been a few days. So let's go ahead and see what the performance has been. Boom. $12,137 gain. Amazing. And that's net of fees. If you are not including fees, we actually made more than that, right? But we've counted out fees. We took 101 trades. And yeah, I mean, this has just been awesome. It's been awesome, 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 right? So, and again, our position, um, I think we're trading like 10% of our portfolio here. Um, yeah, about $60,000 per trade on average. We made 12 grand. And again, compared to what Nvidia has been doing over the past, let's like if we look at all time, um, like we started trading this on October 27th. So it's been a little over a month now. Um, I mean, if you look at what Nvidia has been doing since October 27th, I mean, it's really it's not something to particularly write home about, right? So if I share this tab with you, right, October 27th is the day we started trading with this strategy. And yeah, I mean, here's October 27th. Nvidia is actually down 6% since October 27th. However, this strategy here is actually up. What is it? Total return is actually inaccurate. I believe it just kind of doesn't really make any sense because we made 12 grand. We made 12 grand. I guess that might be on the portfolio. Our portfolio is quite large. But if you were to look at it per trade, right? So I would take this 12 grand and look at what we're actually risking, right? So we risked 60,000 to make 12,000 approximately, right? Which if you look at that and just do 12 divided by 60, I'm doing this math right now, so sorry for the little delay. It's actually like a 20% return, right? So instead, like Nvidia over that time frame, right, since the 27th of October, has dropped 6%. Using this strategy, we've made, you know, adjusting for what we're risking, about 20% returns, which is pretty amazing stuff, right? Again, the portfolio is a little different, right? Because we have a much larger portfolio that we're trading. So, comparatively, like we're trading like 1% of our portfolio, but again, based on how much we're actually risking per trade, it's a little bit different math, right? So again, still super super happy about the performance here. 20% returns is amazing, especially when the underlying asset is down 6%, right? Like literally cannot ask for better performance than that. Relatively speaking. So, anyways, enough happy news, right? Let's go ahead and talk about this dog water strategy. Historically speaking, this has been absolutely our worst performer, bar none. Okay. The RSI divergence strategy absolutely is trash, historically speaking. Now, again, we don't know what it's been. I mean, it's been a couple days since we've checked it. Let's go ahead and see what the results have been. Oh, hey, man, it's improved so much. Now it's only down $800. I'm telling you, I believe this was the strategy that was down. Oh no, it might be the day 4 strategy. No, I think it's this strategy. This strategy was down at one point in time like 20 grand. I think. Let's see. Yeah. Yeah, look at Nvidia right here. So and again, this is the interesting part. So Nvidia for this strategy right here, right? The RSI divergence strategy, Nvidia is the exact same asset that we were trading on day 1, right? Where we made 12 grand on day 1. We're trading the exact same amount of we're trading the exact same amount of or risking the exact same amount per trade, right? But except on this strategy, right, we're losing $28,000. And on this strategy, we made $12,000, right? It is so weird how, and again, so we lost a tremendous amount here. We made a pretty good amount here, but the underlying asset lost a little amount, right? So it's really weird how a strategy can like make or break your portfolio, right? Like it really can like it's everything, right? The underlying asset, right? Let's go back over here. The underlying asset is down 6%. On this strategy, we lost $28,000, which again, the average trade size here is less. It's 34,000, right? But we lost 28,000. This is like, 80%, upwards of 80% of the portfolio, right? We lost. Oh, sorry, upwards of 80% of what we risked, we lost. But on day 1, we made 20%, right? These are orders of magnitude of difference. And just goes to show you that, if you bet on the right thing, right? On the right, it's not necessary. It's the underlying asset is obviously incredibly important. You want to bet on a winning horse. But if you have a strategy that coincides with this amazing performance that protects you from the downside risk and, allows you to ride those, really, really amazing highs, right? Um, it really makes a world of difference, right? So anyways, day 3 was one to look out for. I think the last time we've checked on it, it didn't really have many results, didn't have many trades, and it still does not. Okay, so again, I regret to inform you that this one's a little boring, but that being said, let's move on to day 4. Day 4 officially got into the red blood category a few days back. Let's go ahead and see what the results are now. Yeah, so this is now, I think, our second biggest loser. It is our second biggest loser, a negative 1,000. So this is actually has lost a little more money recently. Um, I mean, it's nothing really to write home about. Again, it's kind of boring the way that this is kind of playing out. Again, over 24 trades, it lost $1,000. The win rate is really poor. So that means the profit factors, it must not be too bad. But yeah, just like the strategy is something that you kind of want to seems like you want to stay away from. It's like a cut by 1,000 knives, right? Like you really don't take that many trades. And when you do, it's like little tiny losses, right? And you might have a big winner and you're like, oh, right? But you are still getting those little tiny losses, right? Little tiny losses that net, it looks like you're losing money over time. And this is the kind of strategy that, you want to identify quickly because like if you like those big wins, you might get them here, right? But over time, there's like it's just ripping money out of your bank account. And so you want to stay away from that, right? So anyways, that being said, let's move on to day 5. Again, this strategy, historically speaking, has not taken many trades, but it was one that back tested well, which is why I put those eyeballs there. Let's go ahead and see if there's any trades. Oh, so still no trades. Okay, that's a boring one. Day 6, let's see if there's any updates here. Stochastic overbought, oversold. No trades there, unfortunately. Let's go ahead and move on to day 7. Is a daily support resistance bounce strategy. Nothing there on day 7. This is the orb strategy. Historically speaking, was really no trades taken for this one. So again, still no trades. And again, this is an example of one strategy, the opening range breakout. I made this for a YouTube subscriber named Peter, who subsequently did register for my platform. I do not know if he became a customer or not, but regardless, I think I'm super excited to work with Peter. And again, if you have a strategy you want tested, just leave it in the comments and I'll be happy to help out and kind of test it for you. But that being said, let's move on to day 9. Do moving average crossover strategy. Amazing stuff. Let's go ahead and see if it took any trades. Yeah. Okay, cool. So small profit here, right? So we took 3 trades. Fees are minimal. And we made $143 on this. And we were trading NVIDIA here, which is nice, right? So like, again, if I look over the last week, NVIDIA is... Actually, let's go back over here. When did I start trading this thing? And again, this just goes to show you, strategy really does mean a lot, right? So the 17th is when we started trading this, of November, that is. Yeah, and so since the 17th of November, NVIDIA is down like 3.5%, but we actually made, a little profit here, right? It's a very, it's almost, because again, look at what we're trading, right? Per trade, we're risking about 60 grand, 55, 56 grand, and we only made $144. It's probably not worth the risk, but it's just, again, what I'm trying to illustrate here is the strategy that you choose dramatically impacts results, right? Right here, you see a break-even strategy, more or less, right? The other one, you saw a strategy that, you lost. This is the same asset, right? NVIDIA. Another one you saw, it lost $28,000. The other one you see, it made 12 grand, right? So really, the strategy that you choose can make or break, can absolutely set you up for success or failure. And so it's really, really important that you take the time to properly understand the risks associated with each of these things. So stochastic oscillator divergence, performance. And again, the cool thing about this platform is, oh my goodness, love it. A gain here. Nice. And this one really didn't take any trades the last time we checked it. So, and I think this is still on Apple and NVIDIA. So on both Apple and NVIDIA, it's worked out well, which is amazing. Oh, no. I misread the graph. Yeah, sorry. NVIDIA is definitely carrying, at least the past week. Yeah, but all time Apple is carrying the portfolio. So we started trading this on the 17th as well. And again, so here's another one where it's, this is probably closer to like a break even strategy, but again, this is profitable, whereas the underlying asset is actually taking a loss, right? So it's pretty cool to see that. And again, made, $2,438. Pretty cool stuff there. 39 trades, 12, $13 in fees. Not too bad. So this stochastic oscillator diversion strategy looking pretty good, looking pretty promising. Again, we'll kind of see. So far, I'll still keep the crown on day one, so to speak, because again, that one has been by far and away the best performer. That being said, let's go ahead and move on to day 11 here. So day 11 is the volume price confirmation strategy. If I go and look at the performance here, still no trades. And then on day 12, I tried to put this together for, I believe his name is Sara. And from what I saw, I didn't really backtest that well, but I didn't necessarily accurately represent his strategy. And again, I wouldn't necessarily say this is something that, because he put instructions inside the YouTube comment, and it wasn't particularly clear about what he wanted, so I had to make some assumptions. But he really appreciated the video, which is super cool. He actually has become a subscriber of Arcade. Again, if you want to subscribe, the link is in the description below. But he became a subscriber, and he actually was able to launch his bot himself. And he had a few questions, but he's working on my team to kind of resolve those things. But I wouldn't necessarily say these results, reflect Sara or his, sort of philosophy, his strategy, right? Because again, I had to make some assumptions on what he meant about certain things, and so again, he just took the reins into his own hands, and he just, he clicked the button below, the link in my description here, and he was like, I'm just going to build it myself, and he built it. And speaking of that, we are actually going to now build, right, a strategy inside of Arcade, and I'm going to show you exactly kind of what Sara did, so to speak, right? So what he did is probably a little different, right? He really just like typed out his entry and exit conditions, but what we're going to do is we're actually going to click this button right here. Give me 10 strategy ideas for stocks, forex, crypto. It's a button that you could literally just click inside of Arcade, and it will give you 10 different strategies that you could use to trade. So again, we're going to see what the results are. And cool. Yep, there we go. I'm going to have a sip. I'm not sure what you're drinking. I'm drinking a Santa Claus version of Coke Zero. Okay. Cheers. Delicious. I'm a big Coke Zero guy. Okay. If you watch any of my streams, it's either Celsius, water, coffee, or Coke Zero. Better believe it. So that being said, let's go ahead and move on here. So we asked for 10 ideas, and it gave us 10 ideas. Amazing stuff. So day 0 is the 5-minute SMA crossover, right? So we already have done this one, right? The SMA crossover. Oh, this is the MACD crossover, excuse me. So have we done the SMA crossover? Oh yeah, let's see. Actually, sorry. I need to do this backwards. We're gonna look here and then compare it to here. Have we done the Bollinger Band squeeze strategy? So yes, we have done the Bollinger Band squeeze strategy, so we won't do that one. The RSI divergence. Now we're looking for the RSI divergence. We're going to actually see if we've done that one before. If not, we'll do that one. Yep, there it is. Day 2 is the RSI divergence. MACD crossover. So now we're looking for the MACD. Yep, right here. Day 4, we've done the MACD crossover. Moving average crossover. Again, this is where the kind of it doesn't really say if it's an exponential moving average or simple moving average or what it really consists of, but we'll come back and do an exponential moving average, but for right now, we're going to say we've done that one, just because we've done the SMA, right? What we'll do today, if we've done all these, which again we probably haven't, before we ask for more, we'll do an exponential moving average, just so we can kind of make sure that we cover both ends here. So stochastic oversold. I believe we have a stochastic. This is overbought. We don't have a. I mean, this might be saying the exact same thing. Yeah, I think it might be saying the same thing. I'm going to avoid this one for now, just because again, it might be the exact same thing, just said in different words. But again, this might be something we come back to. So volume breakout. Let's see. Have we done the volume breakout? We have the volume price confirmation. So I mean, yeah, I think we could do that one. Just in case, though, I think I'm going to do the ADX trend strength because I know for a fact that we haven't done anything with the ADX. We've done stuff with volume. We've done stuff with the moving averages, right? We've done stuff with stochastic. So I'm going to use this one. So number 7 is what we're going to be doing. Okay. So if you have any comments or concerns, please feel free to berate me in the comment section. I have no gripes about that. So that being said, let's go ahead and type in. And again, I told you I was going to drop the mic, but notice how I'm typing with one hand, right? This is so easy. You can type literally one hand in your strategy and you're going to be able to excuse my language. You're able to build whatever bot you want. I do curse, I was raised by plumbers and blue collar workers. So, please forgive me here. So please build me a trading bot using number 7. Perfect. So again, we're going to let that think right now. The AI is thinking. I'm going to take a sip of my Coca-Cola. Delicious. So now that is done, right? It's done thinking. It's going to ask us a series of questions. Really, it's typically 4. In this case, it's 4 too, right? So we're just going to answer them one by one. So you mentioned a daily time frame. So by default, if I go back up here, it is the day time frame. Now, I like to give you guys results immediately. I'm going to have to sneeze right now. 1 second. Ooh, let me make sure I don't got any boogers on my face. Nope. Looking good, baby. So it did say the 1 day time frame. I'd like to give you guys results quickly, so I'm going to do it on a shorter time frame. That's the one edit that I will make. The entry condition is when the ADX 14 rises above 25 plus DI is above DI minus. And again, if you know the strategy, you could probably rip me apart. I don't know the strategy. So positive DI, negative DI, I have no idea what that means. Excuse me. But I will say, yes, that is correct. Do both conditions need to be met at the same time or either? I'm going to say they have to be at the same time. Because I feel like that would make it wouldn't make sense if it wouldn't have for this strategy to be. I mean, we can go back up here and kind of read it. Yeah, see, it specifically says and, so I feel strongly that it's going to have to be at the same time. So, anyways, the exit condition is when ADX falls below 20. So, yes, no TP or stop loss. So great for that. And then time restrictions. So again, on the 4th question, time restrictions, you could choose to have your bot trade on, Tuesdays and Fridays at 9:45 Eastern time. Right? And you can limit it to very niche time frame or time zones and time restrictions. But in this case, we're just going to literally do 24/7. Out of type there, 24/7. And we're going to press enter, right? And again, the AI is going to be thinking right here, right? And soon here, it'll be able to assess all of the things that we want, the specifics of our strategy, if you will, and give us this beautiful little summary, which really, reflects what we want perfectly, right? It gives us a little warning here. And again, I highly recommend, this is not financial advice. Do your own due diligence. With Arcade, we hope to give you some of the tools to help you with some of the due diligence process, but everyone has their own. And what we really need you to be to do is be confident with your strategy, right? And again, with Arcade, we try to help you with that process and make it as easy as possible. But again, it's non-exhaustive. It's really up to you. So anyways, we like this strategy. We understand it. We're going to go ahead and click this button to generate the strategy. And now is where the magic happens. The AI is extracting the rules of our strategy. It is going to be generating the code, okay? And soon here, after it actually, instead of having your software engineer, right, type up this whole entire, multi-thousand line, document, right? We're going to be able to do that in a few minutes, right? Something that used to take months of time will now be able to be done in 3 minutes. And now, instead of paying, a QA to, look at the thing that your engineer made and, make sure it's actually high quality, the AI will actually self audit. Okay. So it will look at the code base that it created and ensure, right? And readjust and adjust until it's actually optimized, right? So we've had these AIs, these automations, right? Execute in under 100 milliseconds, right? It's incredibly fast, right? And it's far beyond my comprehension because I am just a normal guy, right? Who got into this weird little space, and but again, if you're a trader, you know how quick that is. It's impossible for a human to do that. And again, now look, as I was mumbling and rambling, on the left-hand panel, we have our 5-minute ADX trend strategy, right? Exactly as we typed it out with all of the strategy specific settings here for you to adjust, right? So if you know the strategy, again, I'm admitting to you that I do not, right? I'm more of a position trader myself. Um, that then you could let me know. Be like, hey, Tim, leave it in the comments below. Adjust this parameter or adjust this parameter. Let me know what you find on that. And I'll be happy to adjust any parameter you would like. But for right now, we're gonna go ahead and test it just as it is. And I'm gonna go ahead and price this right here. And then we're gonna save. We're gonna come back over here to adjust the, we're to actually launch the bot. This is where we will launch the bot. But for right now, I'm just gonna rename it. And the thing we're gonna do now is, again, the performance tab is gonna have nothing in it because we haven't launched the bot yet. But we're actually gonna go to the backtest tab, which is over here, and we're gonna backtest NVIDIA because that's what we want to keep the asset constant so that we could assess performance over time, right? We want to keep each variable. We want to keep it to one variable per test, I guess is what I'm trying to say, right? The variable which we're testing is the strategy. We really don't want to look at, NVIDIA versus Apple versus Tesla versus. We want to keep one thing at a time. NVIDIA is a highly volatile stock, has a lot of movement, and with the whole AI craze right now, going on. And I mean, I'm one of the one of the recipients of the AI madness, right? And one of the people who use AI as their the crux of their business. NVIDIA is super super important, and they are exploding in valuation. So, and again, some people think AI is in a bubble, but that being said, if you have a great strategy, it'll protect you from any bubble, right? Any bubble collapse. So that being said, we're gonna look at the last 100 days, and we're actually gonna run this back test. And now what the platform is doing is pulling and grabbing like the past 100 days of NVIDIA price movement in 5-minute intervals, right? Because it's the 5-minute chart. And we're actually going to crunch the numbers according to this ADX trend strategy, right? And we're going to see all the entries, all the exits that this particular strategy took during the last 100 days. We're going to see, how many trades it's taken, the win rate, the P&L, the profit factor, the max drawdown, all that stuff will be right here for us to see and actually assess whether or not it was successful. Okay. And it's, again, we're going to launch this thing no matter what, because I want you to have the data, not only historically speaking, but actually like in real time and see how this strategy performs for us. Um, but again, we're going to take it one step at a time. We're going to test and back test and kind of go from there. Right. And this is something that I recommend everyone do if you are going to be playing around with, technical analysis and technical trading. I think back testing is absolutely key. Some people like to talk about forward testing. Forward testing is another way to say paper trading. They're effectively the exact same thing. We allow you to do both here, right? So again, start with back testing. Some people don't believe in it, but and because again, past is not prologue, right? But it's basically the closest thing we have to predicting the future is, assessing how the results happened in the past, right? So again, we're going to go ahead and see how the strategy has performed historically and kind of go from there. As this waits, I'm going to check a few notifications. Let's see how it goes. This is going to be, I imagine this thing is going to have a ton of trades. Honestly, this ADX trend strategy, because it is taking, this is by far and away one of the longest back tests I've seen, in at least for the 100-day time frame. The 5-minute chart is going to give us a lot of data, but I think similarly, this is not a small amount of trades here. I'd be very surprised if it was like like 0 trades. It should be. I imagine it's going to be based on the load time a tremendous amount of trades here. This is very unusual. Anyways, as this loads, Coke Zero. Cheers. And while it loads, I guess I'll just tell you like a little bit more about me personally. Um, I don't know if you have any questions about me personally, you could ask them in the comments. I feel weird talking about myself, in that regard. But listen, I guess I will say I used to build these things from scratch. I used to had a software development agency, um, where people would tell us what strategy they wanted automated, and we would have an engineer code up everything, and take all the rules and put them in a code base, and we used to run it. It was a 2-month long process and cost tens of thousands of dollars, and there's no guarantee it's going to work or not, right? You didn't have the back test, you didn't have all these different tools here. And so we made Arcade, right? And it's something that me as a trader, I wish I had this. When I first started at 17 years old, I remember like like if I could show you my books that I read here, I'll show you this thing right here. Oh God, this is not about investing, but it's about business. I have a whole I have a whole bookshelf of business and investing books, and it led me to this point. I worked in tech. I worked in investments, and this thing that we built, Arcade, is something that I'm really, really proud of. And here we go. Here's the results, right? And this is why I'm so proud of it, right? Like, dude, I used to have to like pull like data from Yahoo Finance with my Python code, and I didn't really even know how to code. It was such a mess, and I had to create CSV files and blah blah. So complicated, such a mess, and not including like having to actually create the strategy, right? And actually put the numbers through the strategy to see if it took a trade or not. Ugh, don't even get me started. Now you have this, right? I was right. It did take a ton of trades, 131 trades, a 56% win rate, 118 profit, P&L, right? So you had a little small profit there, profit factor. I mean, this is not a great strategy, honestly. I mean, again, don't worry about the P&L here because we are only trading 10 shares of NVIDIA, which right now the price per share is like $1,790, $1,800. So this is like what is that? I mean, it's not a bad return. I think it's like 10%. I think it's like 10%. It's like a 10% profit, right? A little less than 10%, but I mean, it's not bad in terms of the profit, right? I just and again, like we can go ahead and see. So like August 25th is the day that we're looking at, like the start date of this. And if we go back over here to the NVIDIA chart, August 25th, we'll go to the 22nd. Yeah, I mean, it's not bad. I mean, you're beating the underlying asset, right? But remember, I mean, this is a ton of trades, man. It doesn't really tell you how much fees you would be having to pay here, but probably is going to eat up a lot of your profits here, depending on the portfolio that you're trading, right? Honestly. So and just this profit factor is really risky. I'm not going to lie to you. Um, it's really borderline, break even strategy. And again, when you factor in the fees, you probably eat up, whatever profit you did make. But and that's just kind of my initial assessment of this strategy off the bat. But again, and we could change some of these things moving forward if you want to change them, any of these settings, and we can kind of see what that would do. But for right now, again, I'm going to go ahead and launch this strategy on NVIDIA. I'm going to use 5% of my portfolio, and I'm going to do it on paper trading. And that's literally like I always minimize how cool this is. That is how long it takes. I'm going to press start. That is how long it takes right now. Done. How long it takes to launch a bot. Literally just I picked the ticker and then I press start. pick the ticker, pick the broker, press start. So simple, insanely simple. Um, and again, now speaking from someone who used to build this from scratch, right? This is insane, man. I'm super excited about this process. And again, during this time together, we've done a couple few pretty cool things. We have launched a fully automated trading bot, right? Which of course you just saw, and we also saw the results of the past, you know, what was it, 13 days of performance, right? We saw some big winners, $12,000 gain, and we also saw on one specific strategy, right, with Nvidia, a $28,000 loss. But similarly, Tesla also went up, like $28,000, right? So overall, our portfolio is actually profitable, right? A few weeks ago, or last week even, we were actually down like $14,000. Now I believe we're up like 4 grand net on our portfolio, which is super cool. And again, all of that happened totally autonomously, right? Through our trading bots that we built on Arcade, which is such an accomplishment. And so in about a month, a little over a month now, across our entire portfolio, we've been blessed to make about 4 or 5 thousand bucks. And again, so 4 or 5 thousand bucks over the course of a year, what is that? Like 60 grand, right? Just totally automated, right? So, and again, if you have only your good strategies running, then you're only going to make profit. You're not going to take those huge $28,000 loss. And so yeah, that being said, Arcade will help you identify the fat, trim it, and kind of just help your life in terms of your financial life flow very easily. So, anyways, that being said, I really appreciate you. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, leave them down below. I hope you had a great Thanksgiving, and Christmas is coming up. The holidays are coming up. I hope you have a great holiday season. I'll see you before then, I'm sure. But until then, I wish you the best. Okay. Let me know if you have any questions. Bye bye. Oh, and last thing, feel free to share this if you know anyone that's interested.